Hello all, and welcome to the weekly write-up. As I had said in the update video I had made, this will probably be a weekly thing. However, I've decided upon one thing. It's going to be more focused on going over stuff like classes and the like. Not classes, god. Basically, character design. However, a foreword before or anything is further said, I'm surprised that people have actually started taking an interest in my duelist videos. Because honestly, I'm honestly doing just kind of like what I'm enjoying for the recording, rather than going like with the XCOM 2. Oh hey, I know this game's coming out. Probably should record it. Because as much as I liked the first XCOM 2 wasn't that enjoyable, and yet I was basically pushing myself to record it. Anyways, on to the first subject, which will probably be character design. After all, you can't have a good game, or a good story for that matter, without good characters. So, probably the first thing I'll touch up on is that when you're first designing characters, you should probably figure out whether or not you want them to develop or to just be one thing. Because if you have a character that's just going to be one thing, then then you want to make sure that you write them that way. A character shouldn't suddenly go from being completely like a silent giant to overly extroverted, happy-go-lucky person without an explanation as to why they are now acting like that. An example of a character who I will probably have just be that sort of a one thing is this character, Yilkas. And he's basically a character that I've just kind of thought, like, some of the tropes that I'll be doing with his writing will be related to, yeah. However, I think I'm going to focus more on trying to get, yeah. This is honestly the first time I've tried doing something like that. So yeah, you can expect it to be. Also, this is all entirely in my opinion. So, it might work for you, it might not work. But one thing that's definitely for sure, if you're gonna write a character, make sure that they always stick with their theme. So, yeah. Honestly, in my head, I thought this was going to be a lot easier, but, you know, I'm just kind of doing it live, so, yeah. Trying to figure out. Okay, another important thing for when you're writing characters that I could throw out there is that usually you want to have at least one character who develops over the course of your story. In the case of mine, well, my game, it would be this character. That and this character, though I don't have any of the artwork, like I haven't generated any assets for using the in-game stuff, like the game maker stuff. Yet, that's largely due to the fact that honestly, yeah, it's just due to the fact that I haven't gone around to it. Plus, it's kind of hard for me to find the assets that I need to make the character. Honestly, if I ever do release a game, that has some use of this. The face artwork will definitely be all hand drawn. Might be good, might not. Who knows? So yeah. Also, if you're wondering why I'm clearing out some of my characters, it's because I've been rewriting the story multiple... Well, no. I've been coming up with and shifting the names several times. Heck, even my current story is more convoluted than half of the ones that I've read. No, it might be easier for me to go over stuff like getting your story started, which I think would be a good thing to cover for this first weekly write-up, seeing as that's what I struggle with the most. Basically, sometimes it's actually better to not try and start from the start of the story. I mean, I typically try to do that, and it's gotten me nowhere in terms of writing it. Because that's honestly one of the hardest things to do if you don't know where you want your story to go. It's better to know where your story is going to go before you start trying to write up your characters. Because sure, if you have all of your characters, it makes it easier to write up the dialogue and whatnot. But sometimes you come up with characters that you don't even really need, or you just want to keep around because you like the idea of them. That about sums up half of my characters. Is that I'm sort of like, I know that I should, like, okay. One of the things I was planning on doing for whatever game I make, which, with the intention of it being an RPG of some sort, is having a sort of like link system, like Persona, like the social link style type thing, and that certain it wouldn't just be for like the main character. It would be each character would have links between them. And the reason why that mattered, like, why that could be considered an issue, is that the idea also currently involves making it that way by building up their links. Each character can unlock a class that's a derivation of the basically. Okay, I'm just gonna give an example. Say that someone, say I found an event where, basically, say I found an affinity link event for Terra and Eerie. Terra would get a class that's a derivation of Eerie's class, while Eerie gets a class that's a derivation of Terra's class. So, instead of it being... Okay, another thing I realized is that I need to clean up, all of these classes, because holy crap, these are not... this is the original stuff. I have not used this in a long time. Also, I'm doing that just to be safe. Anyways... yeah, basically it entails each character getting a class from the other one. and that class would progressively get stronger as they're bought and built. Basically, a nice little touch for actually bothering to make use of the affinity link systems. Also, there would be a 6th level that each character could only have one of, and that would unlock some sort of combo ability for that could be used if both of them were in the party. I have a lot of good, maybe not good ideas, but ambitious ideas. This is not very. This video is really not that focused, but hey, it's my first time doing it. So yeah. So I'm probably just gonna at first I'm going to try and get this all written up with each of my characters' classes. Also, just for an idea of how many characters I've designed, it's 28. 28 individual characters. I'm even doing this basically a picture where that showcases all of them at once. Heck, I may even put that piece of artwork up on the channel once it's done. Anyways, let's see, Sean. One thing that definitely needs to be said about going back to character design. Sometimes it's good to have characters that are just kind of have some strange, wacky background. I don't typically have I don't think I have really any ideas that are like that. But having some crazy ideas can help you with coming up with ideas for characters. Because seriously, Yokas is kind of meant to be that one guy who just tries, he's just, yeah. I don't know how to explain the idea. There's certain ideas that I can go oh yeah, this, for Xion. Oh yeah, she's the daughter of the prophet of this place called Shivia, who has a basically living scarf, a scarf that's a spirit, called Senzu, and instead of using conventional weapons or magic, she has the spirit do the fighting for her. Or another example would be freaking Jester, who's just kind of an insane spirit. Completely not sadistic, but he's basically meant to just be kind of the comic relief. Despite the fact that he also enjoys killing stuff. I think I'm writing him to be... I think initially I wrote him to be extremely bloodthirsty. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to keep that, but I do know that I want some fourth wall breaks with him. Yeah. God. Oh wow, I've been talking for quite a while, actually. Honestly, I don't expect these to be all that organized, because I'm still trying to... Like, once I get the hang of it, it'll probably be easier. But for now, I think I know that this episode is definitely going to be called Character Rambles, just because it's kind of going in between. Oh yeah, this is what, like, these are good things to do with your characters, such as keeping like unchanging characters as with their shticks and traits remaining the same throughout a story, while having changing characters actually develop. Like, my plan is to have this guy be, like, at first presented as, like, a coward. And then he, like, basically trope of using the trope of, oh, at first he's acting like a coward, yet because he wants to protect someone, he actually just do that. And also, it would allow me to start introducing, at least give an introduction to how there's a link system. I'm just kind of calling it that at this point. So yeah. All I know is that the base class is definitely going to be a linker for Kevin. Let's see, 30. Let's see. But yeah. Also, let me change up the music for a little bit. I'll just leave it as is. Anyways. Yeah. It's definitely also... You definitely also want to assign certain personality traits to your characters before you start actually writing. Because otherwise, you could definitely get sidetracked from the base, like that core idea that gave you the idea. And that could end up very badly. So if I remember correctly, was one of my stories, I tried doing that, and I didn't do that at all. And I believe I ended up with just this really stupid twist where it turned out the guy was first presented as all friendly, and then all of a sudden he's an asshole. Turns out to be like all this stuff. Basically, plan your characters before you start writing. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. Oops. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. Honestly, it just kind of depends on what kind of story you're wanting to write. Because if you're gonna write a story that has a lot of characters, then you're definitely gonna want to have to plan out each character. Have sheets of paper or documents on your Google Drive or whatever, where you have all of their characteristics written down. So that way you don't have to, you aren't always left in the dark being like, oh hey, how did I write this character again? Because otherwise, you'll end up having them slip into other characters, which is rarely a good thing. I almost knocked over the glass. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah, I've also been considering doing instead of doing my complicated link system thing, doing a job system from like similar to that of Bravely Default. It may not be anything original, but it would allow me to do the multiple classes thing. That's currently what I'm looking at, is having the multiple classes. Although, oh god, I gotta switch. Multiple classes definitely isn't something that would function, at least. It definitely wouldn't translate well into, say, a book. Because my current goal is to at least get some short stories written with the characters. So that way I can at least start trucking along on the idea. And I did that yet again. Okay. Anyways. Yeah. This was not well directed, in my opinion. Let's see. I'm getting more focused on doing stuff with the background thing, the RPG Maker. So sorry about that. I think I'll just wrap this up by briefly mentioning stuff. Wait. Are you kidding me? Okay, let me just try this. Okay. Well. It's clear that window capture doesn't work that well, because it just turns into a freeze frame. So you just kind of stared at this for the past few minutes, I'm fairly certain. So, sorry about that. You can think of this as being more of just a thing to listen into if you're doing other stuff. Because honestly, there's not going to be much being done in these videos other than just like very little work. Anyways, I'll probably wrap this up with some other news. The Dark Souls survival guide is definitely going to be delayed, since I had recording issues where it didn't record the first part. I was recording it, and it was fine for the area from the start of the Wall of Lothric to after the Vort fight. That area was fine. However, it didn't record anything of the Cemetery of Ash and whatnot. And currently I'm trying to figure out whether or not I should split that or whatnot. and just continue with the one character, or if I should leave. Honestly, yeah, I'm probably gonna just cut it out. Like, restart the series, so that's been pushed back. Definitely going to record more duelists today. And because I'm going to be getting video editing software, like actual video editing software, I do plan on starting to record games on consoles, so yeah. Anyways, I'd say that wraps up this weekly write-up. So this has been your Esquivalis, and I will see you all whenever. Goodbye!